As you're joining us, go ahead and type up any questions you may have in the Q&A box down below or the live chat, and we will be happy to answer them during the live stream today. Today, we're going to be talking probably a little bit about real estate with Loral's special guests and learning a little bit more about how that will be a part of your plan. So, Loral, how are we doing today, ma'am?
I'm great. How are you? How's
Very good. Very good. Happy to be here and happy to see what we have going on today.
Absolutely. So to remind everyone, in our Millionaires in Training group, you can hit your, share, hit a watch party, share this with all of your community. Financial infrastructure is our theme over the last several weeks. So we've started with what does it mean to have a financial infrastructure in 2020. As we head into 2021, we've had tax specialists on, 401k, self-directed IRAs on. We have had, how Bitcoin, digital currency, and gold is affected. We've had, gosh, what else have we had on? We've had so many entity structuring, trust and wills. We went live from Kansas. A lot of conversations about what it takes to have your financial infrastructure ready by year end. And in the midst of this extraordinary fun COVID economy that we are living through. I think there's still some folks that are still in COVID coma, haven't woke up and said, oh, I better get my life together, my financial life restructured. And that's what we are doing. So we've been recording these, putting them in the Millionaires in Training group, and just sharing with all of you what we think and our experts think you need to be doing. Today, 1 week before the election, I knew I wanted a dear friend of mine. I have done business with Ron. He has supported me throughout my career and watched me grow from somebody like just entering this space, probably even said, why are you even doing this to me? Would be something Ron would say. And to me, Ron Legrand is with us today from Florida. He is what I call the godfather of real estate. He has stood the test of time. There's been a lot of people who come and go, who have a lot of flash in the pan, all sorts of like little strategies that are going to get you rich in real estate. And I don't know anybody who has stood the test of time and consistently delivered millionaires in the real estate space. So with that, Ron Legrand, welcome to our community again.
Thank you. It's always fun to be talking with you. Do we get to argue a little bit today, as we usually do when we meet?
Do. I actually want you to tell the story how we met. I love that story because it's kind of fun. It is the funnest, but it sets up our relationship of fun and sarcasm. And,
All right. Well, I was on a stage and I was talking, and we was talking about IRAs, and I told the whole audience, Susie Orman don't even know this. I'll bet you Loral Langemeier don't know this either. And I knew you were I didn't know you were in the room, but I knew you were in the building. And turns out the next day, you and I got on the stage on a panel discussion. And you made it very clear to me that you were fully aware of the IRA stuff. So, my mistake, and you've been holding it against me ever since.
I know, it's kind of fun. So Ron, where were you in March when the world closed down? I don't think you and I have even talked, back. Where were you? I was in Houston, Texas on a stage and was flying home and watching my stages, 15 shows cancel. Like, oh shit, this is for real. Like, we've got to change really quickly. Where were you? What was going on?
Well, we're in the live event business as well. Global Publishing is the name of my company. And we do live event. We were doing them 2-3 times a month at least.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't know why, Laurel, probably his age, but when this thing hit, it didn't bother me a whole lot. We just kept on going. We just turned it to virtual. And the truth is, we're doing a whole lot better now than we were before this thing hit. Now, that's true for my company that's in the business of training people. It's also true for people that I've trained that are buying and selling houses across the country. It seems like it's easier during the COVID thing. I mean, first couple of months it wasn't, but after that, it's easier to get sellers to sell and buyers to buy. And frankly, it's just gotten better and better and better. So from a financial point of view, COVID has been kind of good to us.
Yeah. What are you seeing? Again, this is, I'm going to kind of take it for you viewers in kind of 3 chunks. What's going on in the economy. I'm going to get back to more specifics in real estate. And then we have a very special offer and announcement for you to join Ron and I privately on November 11th. So we'll come back to that. Thomas will tee up the link for you to register. And but let's go back a little bit. Like, just talk about the broader economy, Ron. You've been not only in real estate, you've owned restaurants, you've owned aircraft, you've owned, I don't even know how many businesses you've owned. So what are you seeing just in the general economy and the entrepreneur? I mean, I've done more work with entrepreneurs, helping them strategize whether they should open, close, sell, stay alive, get a cash partner. Probably more active work than I've done. Actually, probably more creative work than I've done ever in my career.
Well, we've seen a lot of entrepreneurs go out of business.
Mhm.
I can't honestly tell you really why. Could they have saved them? I don't know. There are some businesses that probably weren't savable. And then others like ours that were savable. I imagine you're doing better during this thing than you were before. You're certainly staying home a lot more. I know that.
Yep.
So am I. In fact, I'm ready to get the hell out of here and get back in with my people in live rooms, you know. There's other businesses like restaurants, for example. Some of them just gave up and quit. But the restaurants that I see around me, they're doing more business with takeout than they were when people are coming in and sitting down. And many of them weren't even doing takeout prior to that. So this has opened up a lot of opportunities, as it has for us. We were doing virtual stuff prior to this, but nowhere near like we're doing now. I mean, we're doing something virtual all the time. And the good thing about that is, as you well know, we can get a lot more people on the web than we can in a room. And some people are never going to come to a live event. So now we get to blend them both. And going forward, that's exactly what we'll do. Less live, more virtual, but nothing replaces live. Nothing is going to be putting your butt in a seat and focusing and concentrating on the subject the whole time you're there and meeting the other people and so forth. So we're just dealing with, you know what? I've been through 5 cycles, Laura. And I mean, the worst one was 2008, but we just adapt. We change with the marketplace. We do things differently based on what the times are. And, you know, hot market right now out there on real estate. So what? Making tons of money in real estate in a hot market. And the reality is, and some people are going to object to this, but the reality is when the market goes down again, that's the best thing that could happen to a real estate investor.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to buy and a whole lot easier to sell if you're selling on terms and not having to build your business to what qualified buyers I sell on terms. I don't sell to people who qualify for a loan.
Yep. Yep. So those of you that are in our community, as you know, we went out live in August. I think we were one of the kind of first out to just do it. And we said, we're going to Boise. One of our clients has a big, ground up development construction company and is killing it because the communist Californians are moving to Boise in droves. I mean, you can sell houses for above prices. It's insane what's going on. My husband works up there on the project, as most of our clients know. So Ron, we went there in August and had about 60 plus people all live. And it, like you said, there's nothing that is replacing, like seeing humans again. It was almost like, and then getting back to masterminding and just being in that activity. Yeah. And then we went to Kansas to look at some big apartments together again there, and then did our big table, overall learning. Talk a little bit about what you kind of teach. Like I said, you really I always say you're the godfather of real estate because you just teach what I call the basics. It's so bread and butter and normal. And most people have no clue and they struggle for so long to do a real estate transaction.
Well, it's bread and butter after you learn it, like everything else, but it's not bread and butter getting into it. Look, I've taught it all, Laurel. Yeah. I started in 1982, dead broke and clueless, and started out wholesaling houses and then started rehabbing houses. Today, my business is focused on beautiful homes and beautiful neighborhoods. I don't pay cash for them. I get terms from the seller and I offer terms to my buyers, which makes my business a whole lot easier and way more profitable than anybody doing wholesaling and rehabbing, which is what most people want to do coming into this industry. I'm in the pretty house business or the terms business. So when I buy a house, I get multiple paydays from it. I don't just get one check like I do if I'm wholesaling and rehabbing, and then have to pay the maximum taxes on it and wind up my government as my partner. And then I got to go out and do it again. In my world, we do the job once and we keep getting paid for years and years and years in the future from that one time we did that job. And we literally eliminate real estate taxes and build monthly cash flow to the point where you don't have to work anymore, which is what I know you've been teaching that all your life.
Yep.
Cash flow. You get that high enough and all this other stuff that bothers most people won't bother you. because you wake up in the morning and know where your livelihood is going to be coming from, and without you participating.
Yeah.
One thing over the years that was really hard for me to learn. I mean, really hard. And that's getting the hell out of my own way and let other people do what they do best, so I can do what I do best. And that's simply make decisions and think about growing the business, not getting involved in the business and doing all the little grunt work that everybody insists they think they ought to do, including me for about 25 years. But the older I get, Laurel, the less I want to do, period.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go backwards just a little bit. So when COVID hit, being in the real estate business, landlords, were in this huge fear, or the truth of not having tenants pay. Tenants thought they could get away with not paying. Talk a little bit about that experience, how you coached your clients through that. I know we still have clients that are dealing with that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, tenants, for them not to pay, they still have to do some qualifications. So that's not necessarily the case. Landlords better investigate the actual law before you let the tenants get away with that. But even if that's the case, what that tells me is that if you're worried about not collecting and having to pay, then your cash flow isn't there yet. You haven't built a business that will allow for financial downturns like that. And that's probably what we need to focus on. And maybe it will turn into a valuable lesson, not to live on the edge all the time. And first thing that goes wrong, you're out of money.
Yeah.
Laurel, you're about the best teacher that I know. We got to get money in the bank. We got to get some liquidity so that we can think and focus and build wealth from that liquidity. Now, all of a sudden, if 2 or 3 mortgage payments are going to put me in bankruptcy, then we got an internal problem we need to fix. And it's a good lesson. And there's a lot of lessons that are being learned in this COVID thing.
So fast forward to now, talk about terms. I know people hear it. They hear, no money down deals. We teach, that strategy all the way through business, but I don't think anyone teaches the real estate terms better than you. And I think if people did that more, they'd own a lot more real estate.
Terms means that I'm not paying cash for the house, even though we do that sometimes when I need rehab, but that's a different business. Terms means that I'm either buying it with owner financing, which means I'm usually just making the payment for the seller for some period of time in the future. Or if it's free and clear, I'm making them a payment. And selling it, I sell it with a lease purchase, and which means I'm not really selling it. It's just a glorified rental, but all the repairs pass on to the tenant buyer. And when I put them in there, I get thousands of dollars non-refundable option deposit, not hundreds of dollars security deposit. So that means, take a $300,000 house. I'm not giving anybody the keys with less than $25,000 from them applied to their down payment, and of course comes off their purchase price. So I get huge checks putting people in these beautiful homes that cannot qualify for a loan because the seller has given me financing, or I just took over their debt. And we do a lot of that as well. And so then I put tenant buyer in there. We do it immediately. We don't have to rehab the house. Repairs are passed on to the tenant buyer, and that deposit is non-refundable. So it's your money the day you get it. So those things accumulate quickly. I mean, you're getting $20,000, $25,000 for a non-refundable deposit. That's probably more than most people make rehabbing a house out there today, taking 6 months to get through it and having to raise capital and take all those risks. But I keep getting a monthly spread between what they pay me for rent and what I pay the seller. So that's cash flow. And sometimes that is big money. I mean, hundreds of dollars a month, times however many houses you want to do. And then we get paid on the back end if and when they cash us out. And a good portion of them actually move out. When they do, their deposit is forfeited. So you get to go do it again. And all this time, the debt is getting paid down, and hopefully the value is going up. Plus, if we do sell, we learned to not pay taxes when making that sale, which is another seminar you and I probably ought to do. Yep. But you can't do that by wholesaling or rehabbing a house. So basically, I call it the grown-up part of the business, because most people out there just wholesale and rehab their whole life away. And then looking back, wonder what happened if I'd have kept about 50 or 100 of those houses, instead of giving them all away for peanuts and paying the government half of what I made.
So Ron, everyone comes to our our classes and say, what market should I jump into? So how do you answer that question in an economy right now we're seeing obviously 4 big cities. Boise is number 1 just because of its value is below the Reno and Vegas markets, but actually Vegas is number 2, Reno, then Scottsdale. But those 4 markets are getting all of the California influx. So, that's just going to be a short-lived deal, right? And we've been huge promoters of that. People who don't want to deal with any of that, they jump over, they're going to Texas, New York's moving to the Carolinas. So I want to mention that's transitional because of COVID and, these states deciding to do what they do. Outside of that variance and movement that that's obvious, where should they go?
To tell you the truth, Laurel, I don't care about any of that. Okay.
I know you don't. That's why I wanted you to say it.
And I'll tell you why. How long have I been doing this? I'm my 39th year. Do you believe that? I don't even look older than 39, do I, Laurel?
No, I thought you're gonna have 40th birthday party soon.
Yeah, right. Actually, I just had my 74th birthday party or whatever it was. But anyway, I've been through 5 different cycles. I've been all these years buying and selling houses, quit counting many years ago at 3,000. And I learned very simply, it makes no difference what's going on around us. When I started, the interest rates were 18% interest. And every year I learned there's always people who want to sell their houses and other people who want to buy those houses. Makes no difference what's happening. And matters not who's president or who the president's sleeping with or whether it's a buyer's market or seller's market. None of that matters because this is a business that is never going to end. We are talking about housing here. This is not some fad. And when you understand that none of that stuff matters, if you just adapt to it, it frees your mind up to actually focus on making money and not excuses.
Yep. So most of the stuff that you're going to teach, and let's talk about the webinar coming up. So November 11th, it's 90 minutes, right? We're going to spend about 90 minutes together.
I think so. Depends on the amount of questions we get.
Yep. So I would block between 1 and 2:30 Pacific. We are going to do a very private, just Ron and I webinar, and we're going to teach you a lot about these terms and how he does it. So Ron, talk about the webinar, talk about why sign up and what they're going to learn.
Well, it's the time that I set aside to try to educate the people about what this business is all about and show them how it works. I'm literally going to go through step by step on exactly what we do, and thousands of my students are doing all around the country. How we buy, and I'm going to show you my simple scripts that I've created over the years, where you just simply read a simple script and the seller will make you an offer. We don't make sellers offers; they make us offers and answer our questions. How to find them, how to find the buyers, and why people do what they do. And in fact, we're going to have some questions on that after the thing is over. But honestly, it's an eye-opener who don't really understand the terms business. And I promise you, if you're out there buying rehabs or wholesaling right now, you're most certainly going to want to add the terms business to your portfolio of things to do in real estate. I'm telling you, if I had to start all over again, I'd do the terms business. You had somebody ask you a question on that earlier. Start with the terms business, because not only I get a check, I get a whole bunch of checks following, and there's nothing better than residual income coming in when you're not doing anything.
And are you mostly educating in the housing, or do you do any apartments? You can use the terms on anything, can't you?
I do commercial, and I teach commercial, and I have a commercial mastermind group, but that's not what this webinar is about. This one's a single family house where anybody can get started, by the way, without money and without credit. I don't let anybody go borrow money and guarantee debt. I'm totally opposed to that. In fact, when I find people doing that, I send Guido after them with a big stick and whack them upside the head. That's the mistake you can make in real estate, is guaranteeing debt.
Yep. Don't ever want to do it. And so many people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, there's the link. It is asklaurel.com. What is it? Asklaurel.com /terms. So sign up there. It's again November. Go to your calendar right now, which is on this little device, and block 1 to 2:30 with Ron. Please share the link. We're going to get as many people on. So we don't want you in 2020 not really strategizing real estate in as part of your portfolio. And Ron is going to be the one to teach you how to do it as we continue to follow up. And he, like I said, I think you said December, you're going out to do live events. I think slowly some of other folks are headed out to do live events. So you will end up probably in a live event at some point, but let's spend November 11th from 1 to 2:30 together. And
Laurel, that's 1 to 2:30 your time now.
1 to 2:30
1 to
Pacific.
2:30 your time.
Yes.
Make everybody aware. That's, what is that, 3 o'clock my time?
4 o'clock. 1, 2, 3,
4
4,
o'clock
4 to
my
5:30 Eastern,
Yeah.
1 to 2:30 Pacific. So block
Yeah.
that time, block a good 90 minutes, bring a pad and paper. You will have a lot to learn and a lot to keep up with. And we
We'll
will,
take questions.
Ron, go ahead.
We'll take questions.
Yeah, we will take live questions. We want to support you to get this into your life. And for some of you, especially those of you that are employed and you've had, a real roller coaster, and whether you're going back, a lot of you, we've been teaching you to be entrepreneurs. Many of you entrepreneurs say, I've tried all sorts of things. I really want to do real estate. Then this is the place you want to be to add this to what you're doing or make this what you do.
Yeah. Or pair it up with whatever else you want to do, because it's strictly a part-time business with a full-time income, which is a big message I've got to get across to everybody. If you can't do this part-time, you won't do it full-time either, because everything is done for you. We're in a world right now where everything is delegated and it's already set up. So you don't have to go out and find all these services yourself. Never been easier than it is right now. And I mean that sincerely.
Yeah. Awesome.
A long
And
time.
a lot of our clients have been trained by Ron and have been through all of his work and his masterminds. I've been in his masterminds, and we've collaborated a lot in our careers. And as I've been growing up, you've watched me probably, I don't even know. We probably were like giggling when we first met on that first stage, thinking, who's this chick?
You already grown when I met you.
All right. Yeah, I think I actually had one. I think I had Logan by then. So Ron, anything else? Why people sign up? This is your chance to do it. We will be continuing to post this recording into our Millionaires in Training, our other Facebook, YouTube channels, and getting as many people on November 11th to make sure you really understand real estate is something you need to put into your business model.
And here's the good part, Laurel. It's absolutely free.
Yeah.
So if you're not happy, we're going to give you triple your money back. Right, Laurel?
Sure.
Money back? Yeah. Okay. Look, it's an hour and a half of your time, guys. I don't know why on earth you'd want to miss it unless you just got all the money you need and don't want to make any more. If that's not the case, come join me.
Yeah.
I'm the best in the world with what I do. Quite modest, Laurel.
You are. So we appreciate you, Ron. Thanks for the update. He will be back actually on November 10th, the day before, just to do a quick little refresher for the last minute signups. And but when it's signed up and sold out, you are going to miss your spot. So those of you that are out there, get signed up right now. And Thomas, who is here with us live, will be continuing to replay this until then to make sure we have a huge audience. And that group, our goal is that you're going to continue into 2021 in conversation, not only with Ron, as with us, and continuing to help you in probably the most volatile economy most of you have ever lived through. So Ron, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So Thomas, any other announcements that we need to talk about? We have, excuse me, a marketplace again next week, even though we just wrapped one up on the 5th and 6th. We have a marketplace that is coming on Thursday and Friday through the weekend. Thomas, talk a little bit about the weekend. We opened up our marketplace through the weekend with some help and facilitation. Thomas was there live, Steve, tomorrow, a lot of our senior folks. And we saw a lot of you making a lot more money and a lot more success.
Yes, so now that we are doing the Millionaire Maker Meetup and Marketplace, we've decided that we're going to add in some additional marketplace sessions. So we now open the marketplace Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific and give everyone the option to connect in the Zoom room as we've done before, but also give Big Table members and members in the community the chance to come back into the marketplace and connect with, network, and sell within the event, as it were. So if you're a Big Table member, you have access to the marketplace for free. We'll be sending out those reminders weekly, as well as previous event graduates will be able to attend the marketplace for just $47. That gets you access to the marketplace on Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific, and again 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific on Saturdays. So you'll see information coming up not only in the Facebook group, but through the email messages, the text messages we'll be sending out. Would love to see you all there. Our goal is to get this to a couple hundred strong each time. We want this to be a sustainable economy and give back to the community in that manner. So you can reach out via Facebook. Our team will be happy to connect with you if you have questions. Also, you can purchase your tickets at the store or opt in through some of the messages we'll be sending out later this week.
Yeah, and Thomas, maybe put in Brianna's email. She's the one that will be coordinating, calling you, making sure you're on the 5th and 6th and in the marketplace and set to make money. And do we have a winner? I know from last Thursday and Friday, were you able to get the tallies? Did we get a winner?
We were still looking at getting that done. There was an issue with the paperwork, so that's not 100% yet.
Okay. So again, those of you that were on last Thursday, Friday through the weekend, we are looking for the #1 winner. I know we had somebody well into the thousands that they have made on just a few days inside the marketplace selling, I believe, some recruiting service, I believe, is the current winner. So again, make sure you are signed up for both. Sign up for our marketplace. We always want you making money, and add some additive revenue, and be there on November 11th for Ron and his webinar with he and I. And just he and I, we're going to be talking through how do you put his system into your life for an hour and a half, 1 to 2:30 Pacific, 4 to 5:30 Eastern. And then as we head into the rest of November, December, it is really completing 2020 and getting ready for 2021. And as we have been saying, again, those are experts that you've met, especially in the entity, trust, self-directed IRA, those government agencies, anything that's got impact to the government agency, they are going to be, they're already so backed up. Make sure you get those things done. Do not call us on December 31st and say, I need an entity for 2020 and think you're going to get it done. It's not going to occur. The chances are pretty darn slim. So make sure you get way in advance. And I think all of you know, and Ron, you'll find this funny, we're calling November 15th the year end. Because if you don't have your paperwork done by November 15th, the chances of getting it through any government agency, I mean, I know by now, we just got a side-by-side over the weekend to get a registration DMV appointment. We're into 2021. And we're still in October, and we can't get to the DMV just to do a simple little registration. So the agencies are backed up in every category. So serious stuff for those of you that want to make sure 2020 is probably the biggest deduction year you're going to see. So thank you for being there, Ron. Thank you. Look forward to being with you on November 11th. And Thomas, thanks again. Those of you have a great day. This will be reposted in Millionaires in Training, our Facebook group, and everywhere else you see us on social channels. Have a great day. Cheers.
And then do we want to stay here and record,
Yeah,
or
let's stay here.
what we can do is end this